Life has a way of pulling the rug from underneath us. One day you're fine, everything feels great, and then suddenly you're staring at a job loss or a relationship that's ended or bills that you just don't know how you're going to pay. You think, how did I get there? And these aren't just bumps in the road, they are the moments that completely knock you down. These are the ones that keep us awake at 3 o'clock in the morning, replaying those moments in our heads where we think, what could I have done differently? What did I do wrong? They leave you wondering, how on earth am I going to get out of these situations? How am I going to move forward? If you've ever been in that place, if you've ever had that heavy feeling scared or unsure what to do next, this episode is for you. I'm Lisa Quay. I'm a midlife coach and host of Real Women's Stories. Each week I share short coaching episodes just like this one, real bite-sized tools that you can use straight away. None of the nonsense, just tools that actually work. Now, before I dive in, I'd like to ask you 3 questions. If you can just in your head, just answer yes, no, or maybe. Have you ever felt like one of these moments has defined who you are? Do you focus more on what went wrong or what went right? Do you believe strength is something that we're born with or something you can build on? And if you answered yes, no, or even maybe to any of those, then stay with me, because in the next few minutes, we're going to talk through each one. And by the end, you'll see how these tough moments can become the very thing that actually makes you stronger. When life falls apart, it's not just what's happening outside of us, it's what's happening inside of us. So it's those feelings, it's those thoughts and feelings and emotions that really end up playing on our minds, and our brain and our thought process starts to talk to ourselves. We start to say things like, I failed, everyone else is doing better than me, I just can't see a way forward, what's wrong with me? And then those feelings creep in of shame, of guilt, of exhaustion, of fear. It just feels so heavy. And then what do we start doing? We start avoiding phone calls from our friends because we got nothing to talk about. And we don't want to start talking negatively to our friends or our family. We just don't want to talk about all the issues that we're dealing with. We just don't know where to start. And then we start to put things off. We don't tackle any of these issues head on. And then we start potentially hiding the post if you've got debt piling up, or emails because you just can't face it. Does that sound familiar to you? Because if it does, you are not alone. This is how so many women feel when we're knocked down. And I know, because I've been there myself too. There are so many occasions where I have had conversations with people that have been in these situations. And I actually want to share a personal story with you. One of the most challenging times in my life, it wasn't about work or money, it was about my family. When Adam and I came together as a blended family, I felt really guilty. My kids had lost their mum, and who was I to walk into their lives and think that I could create a stable, happy environment for them? I was so worried that they hated me. I questioned myself every single day. I used to lay awake at night, and then I used to wake up in the morning thinking about the school run, thinking about how I was going to deal with just the environment, just the conflict, the situations. There were moments where I honestly thought, I just can't do this. I can't do it anymore. But I dug deep. I started noticing the brighter moments, the ones where potentially one of the kids would reach out to me or speak to me in a way, or just give me a little smile, just that small gesture of trust. I looked for those moments every day and I just held on to them. And I asked for help when I needed it. It was hard asking for help, but I had to admit I couldn't do it. And slowly, through those moments of clarity and perseverance and strength, we built, all of us as a family, we built something solid. And, looking back, I see a strong family unit built on love and trust. And you know what? It came because I kept going through the tough times and I didn't skirt around them. People used to always ask me, how do you do this, Lisa? How do you cope with this environment that you're in? And there were times I really couldn't cope. And I reached out, I asked for help. I looked for those moments of clarity. Those moments were the tiny moments of hope. And I remember thinking, if I can get through 10 years of us being together, I know we'll be okay. And I know 10 years seems like a huge challenge, but I took it step by step every day. Every day I look for those glimmers of hope and those glimmers of trust with the kids, with me, and those moments where I could see my daughter with them, helping each other, even just coming back from school. And those were the moments that I held on to. That's what resilience really is. It's showing up even when it hurts and trusting what feels unbearable now can one day become the thing you're most proud of. And looking back, I'm so proud of my family. I'm so proud of what we've achieved. And I'm so proud of the team that Adam and I have become. And I think now that if I had given all of that up, I wouldn't have all of this now. And there is so much value and so much strength. And I've learned so much along the way. That's the key thing. I've learned to use all of my experiences to become a coach so I can understand those situations that my clients are in, those situations where you're in the depths of despair and you feel like you're on the floor, to pick those glimmers of hope and look at them each day so that you can get out of bed and build on all of those. This is what I bring into my coaching, and it's called cognitive behavior coaching. Let me explain to you in real terms. So it's about noticing the thoughts in our heads that keep you stuck and learning how to change them. Because here's the thing, our brains have a habit of zooming right in on the negative. Psychologists call it negative bias. So this means out of the 10 bits of feedback that you might get, 9 of them are really positive. But what you remember is the one negative comment. You forget it, you kind of brush it off, you don't look at any of the praise, and then you just carry on looking at the criticism and just carrying it around with you. So that means that if we get 10 bits of feedback and 9 of them are positive, we instantly home in on that one bit of feedback that's negative and we forget all of the praise. And then what we tend to do is carry that one bit of negative feedback around with us, which just sits on our shoulders, and it creates such a heaviness around our being and around our thought process. And if we're not careful, that same bias starts to shape how we see hard moments. We only tend to see what's wrong and we miss out on the strengths we still carry, the lessons that we've already learned, and the opportunities that are sitting right in front of us. If any of this is resonating with you, make sure you hit the follow button. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. These episodes are totally complimentary. They're short and easy to listen to, and they'll give you practical tools each week for you to reflect on and practice. Think of them as a bite-sized coaching session to help you decide if coaching could be right for you. So how do we deal with it? Here are 3 simple things that you can try. Number 1, name it. Say it out loud. Name it, whatever that situation is, whatever that challenge is that got you into this place. Say it out loud. I've lost my job. I'm in debt. My relationship has ended. Naming it gives you brain clarity instead of letting the fear just swirl around you, seep over you, and then has a huge knock-on effect. Like I've described about the way that our brain starts thinking and clinging on to the negatives. If we say it out loud, it's the truth. We can start dealing with it and we can start facing it. Number 2, challenge the thought. If your brain is saying, I'll never get out of this, ask yourself, is that 100% true? Or is it my negative bias talking? Number 3, find the micro win. One small action, and I talk a lot about taking action in all my social media posts. That one small action, that one small step, make a call, write one page, go for a walk. It doesn't have to erase the whole problem, but what it does is it reminds you that you can move forward. So let me just go over those again. Number 1, say it out loud. Tell the universe, tell the world, tell a friend, tell yourself the truth about what the situation is and what you're going through. And then challenge that thought. Is it really the end of the world? Ask yourself 100%, am I going to be able to get out of this? Because I can guarantee you there will be a way. Number 3, find that micro win and take that small step, that one action that's going to take you out of that situation. Make a phone call, write a page about how you're feeling, go for a walk in nature, and just breathe. It won't erase the problem, but it will remind you that you can move forward. And taking those simple little steps, those actions every day, will lead you on a path so you can actually move forward and step into a space where you can tackle the problem and you can tackle the challenge. You can start asking for help, just like I did. And you can start looking at the small wins, the little bits, the tiny moments where you get joy, where there's opportunity, where there is a world out of sitting in the situation that you're in on the floor, where you honestly, you can't sleep. You just don't see a way out of it. Those 3 simple steps are the way that you can start to move forward to create a more positive mindset and disregard the negative bias that keeps talking to you in your head. You know, I saw a post on Instagram recently that really hit me. It was just a glass of water and it had a few bits floating around inside of it. The caption said, most of us spend all of our time fishing out the bits instead of actually drinking the water. And it got me thinking, that is exactly what negative bias looks like. We seem to zoom straight in on the bits, the tiny flaws that are going wrong. And in doing that, we completely miss the good stuff that's right in front of us. So here's my question to you, and I'd love to turn this into a proper debate. Do you spend more of your time focusing on the bits in the water, or do you actually notice the water itself? Because how you answer this says a lot about how you build resilience. So come join this community and join this conversation. Leave your comments in this chat, or if you know somebody who's struggling, if you know somebody who's in the situation, share the episode with them because maybe they really might need to hear it right now. Look, none of us have it all figured out. I certainly don't. But what I know for sure is this. Every single tough moment that you've lived through has given you something, even if you can't see it right now. So don't give up on yourself. Just stay with it. Stay with us. And remember, you've got more in you than you realize. I'll be back with you next week. So remember to keep listening and join the conversation. Share your thoughts in the comments because when we talk honestly, we remind each other we're not alone. And if you'd rather connect one-to-one, you'll always find me on Instagram at Lisa Quate or LinkedIn. Reach out because I'd love to hear from you.